Starting
Yeah.
now. Anyway, I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
This is Coffee Before Bed.
And
Where
before,
Pat rudely interrupts
so before
conversation
we
that's going on.
so rudely interrupted with this broadcast, we were talking about makeshift COVID policies and how that's going to work. And so they just said, forget it. Because
It's gone.
the only place they for sure still say, like, masks are, like, hospitals, right?
It depends on the hospital.
It
Does it?
depends on the city, probably still.
You think? Because, I don't care if it's hospital. Like, you can make an argument for that. You could
They
make...
should have been there,
pre-COVID,
Lifetime.
you could have made an argument for that, you know?
but you should have to give them regular, actually effective masks.
They give them to you at the door now.
If you don't
in the
have your
hospital.
own,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
went to the
before,
hospital
it's
once
just
a while
like-
ago.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was fine.
okay.
I had to do some diagnostic bullshit, so they're like, here. I was like, cool, thanks. But like my actual doctor's office,
Yeah.
they don't make
Yeah,
it.
it
don't care
depends
anymore?
on the doctor.
Yeah, they don't care
Right.
anymore. So my doctor was pretty straightforward about that from the beginning. She was like, I don't care. So she's like, I'm getting vaccinated. You should, but I'm not going to make you. She's like, I got people on my waiting list.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and like two nurse goons come strap you down and
So like, yeah, I guess when it first started, everybody that I knew in the nursing program was like, fuck it, it's just like the flu kind of thing. And then 6 months later, they were all freaking out. And then this last section that I did with them, they're all kind of like, whatever, you do you. No. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's just been accepted as a way of life now.
Yeah, I mean,
Here.
so,
There are places right now
Yeah.
that
I mean,
say
here U.S. or here?
here in the
Colorado?
United States.
here are the okay. When I say here, I'm talking about the only country that matters. In case I haven't made this clear before,
America!
yeah, the sun doesn't go around the earth; it goes around the United
Right,
States.
yeah.
Okay.
The rest of the world just goes dark every now and then.
Well, there's a time period from so it's 4 hours, so it's West Coast to East Coast.
Yeah, well, Hawaii's like 6, 7
Is
hours away.
their problem, but not mine.
It's part of America, man. The flag flies on that, so I'm on board with them too. So same thing. It flies over Guam. So.
Yes, and I guess it flies over half of the Virgin Islands.
Right, the good half.
Yeah.
So just real quick, speaking on that, I had a class today or yesterday started, and one of the guys is in the military, and he's like, I've been to 22 countries, and the teacher's like, oh wow, really cool. And she's like, well, of all the places, where did you like to live? And he's like, America. What?
Yeah.
And he's like, are you? It's like,
Yeah, we're not talking about the same 22 countries.
the freedoms you take for granted here are not expressed throughout the world. There
Not
are
even
literally
close.
some countries where you cannot chew gum outside. She's like, oh, I always thought that was just a joke. He's like,
No, go to Singapore.
this is
Yeah.
real. This country is amazing. It's got problems, but it's amazing. It's just like, thank you, dude.
Well, if you meet anybody who's been a lot of places, they'll all say that. I've never met someone who's been widely traveled and still say, oh, America's shit, you know? Never heard that. I've heard of people who have been to like 3 other countries and are like, oh, fucking Portugal's so cool, man.
They were there for a week.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Well, and with those things, it always comes with certain expected caveats where they'll say like, no, if I'm walking on the sidewalk and I slip off and hurt my ankle, I go to the closest hospital. That's just how it works, right? Versus, I don't know, go ahead and break out the Rubik's Magic and see who your doctor is to see what you're going to pay. So I've seen people give...
Oh, you mean as an argument again? Yeah.
Where they're saying, like, this is a cool part of this here.
Yeah.
But then again, I've also heard say, like, so we talk about racism here, but let me tell you, as a black man, and this was an actual story, it's like, it wasn't in the United States I got maced by just somebody in the street who was afraid of me.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, we talk about it here, but that's Germany. They're supposed to know better.
Yeah.
You got priors.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Sorry.
I don't know, man.
We all had to do a class on this stuff.
I had to think about that for a second. So,
Yeah, there's good things
I don't
about
know,
other
man.
countries that
Of
we can
course.
always take and pull and use from them and learn from them. But yeah, all in all, come on.
I've softened on my stance about healthcare reform. So it's not as bad as people think it is.
What led to the softening?
The math. So math has been destroying a lot of my values. Yeah, it's not that bad. So, and it's not that hard to get really good quality health care. I mean, my cat has fucking better health care
So
than
does-
95% of the goddamn planet.
My
So,
my dog has better healthcare than me.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, people bitch about it because it's expensive, and I get that, but, like, I mean, so I'm trapped in a state plan, and that used to be like the Cadillac plan that
Right.
everybody wanted.
Right.
Fucking Obamacare is cheaper than my plan, but I can't get it, okay? Because I have access to legit, well, I guess that's legit healthcare too, man. It's just I can't have it because my boss is too generous in offering me, being the
Right.
state,
Right.
a plan. And so you can't actually get that. But my premiums for my plan are over $700 a month. Yeah,
Wow.
which is fine. I don't mind spending 10% or whatever my income is on my healthcare. That's fine.
I do, but
Well, I have a kid and I have a wife who's
Exactly,
cancer
yeah.
survivor. So yeah, I want the good
Oh,
plan.
yeah.
Thank you. Because we're going to be doing that again someday, So, well, at least odds are, but whatever. Hopefully not.
yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
car wrecks and stuff like that.
You're right. Yeah, sometimes every now and then some people, yeah. Well, some people go through their life and they have one bad wreck,
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but then okay, so let me do the math on that. That's $3,500. Well, what is that? 7,000 times 12. Is what, $6,200, right? A year? Okay, I'm fine with
Wait.
that.
No.
So $700 a month.
Times 12?
Yeah.
It's 84.
84, sorry. Yeah, 80. I only teach stats, whatever. I don't teach arithmetic.
The numbers are given to me.
Yeah.
But I teach less math and English literature, so
Yeah, that's true.
don't even look my direction.
Yeah.
That's all him.
But so $8,400 a year, which is pre-tax.
True.
And on top of that, in one given year, we would have spent close to $1 million.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
For
God.
cancer stuff.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
you don't know. You have no idea how expensive that shit is.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Or
Our
my
first
dad,
bill that
yeah.
we got was $35,000. That was for our first of 16 treatments.
Oh,
Yeah, and so I'm like, yeah, I'll pay $8,400 a year to make sure that shit's covered.
oh my God.
So, but in this country, nobody can deny you cancer treatment
Right.
because of your inability to pay. All right, so it's like,
But you
okay.
just lose everything.
Well, really,
do you?
really, the cost going on behind the scene is just like pocket shifting money.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the state pays the insurance provider pays the doctors give a discount to the fucking state. All right, so it's just money kind of like laundering through the system.
So that's where the reform needs to go. Is
I don't think there really needs to be that much reform, man. I mean, if there's one reform I think you could fix the entire healthcare system with, and I mean fix by just make it a little bit cheaper, all right, is just let Medicare negotiate for drug prices. I mean, they could do that with a goddamn pen stroke. You don't even need Congress to do that. President could do that tomorrow. So, and I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, oh, so these people who represent like probably 80% of the people who like consume drugs in the United States
Yeah.
aren't allowed to negotiate as a block. It's like, well, that would probably fix it. And then, I mean, that would just have a carry-on effect for the rest of us. We'd be like, oh, this thing that used to cost me $80 a month because old people take it too. Is now suddenly generic and $5. Fucking sweet.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely needs to be some tweakage in there, and I mean, I do understand the protection part because I mean, I will say this, I'm not picking on the rest of the world, but all the new medication comes out of the United States.
Yeah, no, like all the
Period.
R&Ds here.
Yeah,
And stuff, and you can make arguments that they should probably go back to that point where you're not allowed to advertise this shit because, it would be really cool if we actually had, like antiviral drugs that we can deploy immediately because people have been working on it because they realize the pandemic would be bad as opposed to making more little blue pills that make people's dicks hard.
Oh, dude, I'm not even talking about that.
That's where the research dollar goes.
No, well, it's not just the research because there's plenty of things because it's not like, look, there's a reason there's like a Prilosec and a million other variations. There's a reason that there is.
What does that one do? Is that heartburn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And the same thing goes with. I'm not gonna say that there's like self-diagnosis, but definitely like the things where it's like talk to your doctor about Zoloft.
Oh yeah, yep.
So there's definitely that. And it's like, what is this? Like, that's a different kind of SSRI.
Right, yeah. So, which we already have like 10 different kinds of. So, but this one's new and it's not generic, so we can charge you more for it. So, haha.
Yeah.
That's usually what it is.
Look, it's a person that takes these. So, there's a part where I had to go through, take this one and this one, and see what happens.
Yep.
Say, report back. You report back, this happened.
Yeah.
It's like, does that matter to you? It's like, yeah, I'm not even 40 yet. I need to be able to still do this. It's like, all right, well then we'll swap this one for this one. You try it and you tell me how it works. Like, okay, great. And so if Zoloft makes it so you take less pills and stuff.
Yeah, no, I get that. So, I mean, I've been through the SSRI March of Dimes or whatever it is. Not me personally, but
I don't even know what you're talking about.
when you take in drugs for depression, so you have to find the right combination that kind of works for you. It takes that SSRI. It
is a serotonin specific reuptake inhibitor.
Okay. Gotcha. Fair enough.
It makes you less angry at things.
That is correct.
Or nervous, however you respond to stress or anxiety.
Yeah, not just stress, but also like, I know for me, one of my biggest problems was, and you're talking about like anger and stress, was like thinking about stuff that happened in the past. And because it would make you angry, you would think about, you'd spend an evening thinking about, oh, what did I do wrong? How do I fix this? And then
the water's way under that bridge.
well, because the funny thing is, when you flip it around and say, nobody gave a fuck then.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You know why? Because everybody has their own problems.
Right, or, like, so my mother does this. She does that catastrophizing thing. Where,
Absolutely.
Like,
do that far less, but yes.
Fucking end of the world if, I don't make plans, like, 6 months in advance for this meeting. Kind of thing.
Yeah, don't,
it's like, stop that. Yeah. It's like, just stop that.
Well-versed in...
And so there's a lot of... You got to tweak the meds in order to get it right. So... And then, things happen, like chemotherapy, and all your meds change.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's okay. It works out. But
no, it does. And, of course, let me just say this. Also, you must be honest with your doctor.
Yeah, you have to.
If you say fine, they won't do anything.
No.
You have to say, like, no, man, I still feel like shit. Or it's like, no, man, my dick doesn't work no more. Mm-hmm. So...
Why I make bad jokes, man? Why can't you just get it? So, but I don't even think, like, prescription drugs are, like, they're not even really the cost driver behind why American medical care is so expensive. So... The cost driver is because we make too much goddamn money. And so we're going to spend things on money. All right. We're going to spend money on things that are really important to us. So
if they're going to charge it for your life, you go, okay.
exactly. All right. And so there's two
Gotcha.
things. That's the sole reason why there are two things. If I actually went through and I started looking at inflation again, there are two things in fucking America that are ridiculously expensive. All right. Way out of the range of anything else in other countries. One of them is medical bills, right?
Okay.
Okay. Can you guess what the other one is?
Education.
Education. You got Jeff. You nailed it, man. Absolutely nailed it. I've heard so many arguments out. Oh, it's because the state doesn't support it anymore and stuff. It's like, no, it's because you're gonna fucking send your kids there. You're gonna save up 10, 15, 20 years worth of shit to send your kids to the right school, and all the schools fucking know that. And so they're gonna eke that up a little bit every single year because they know that you've been spending the last 20 years or 18 years saving up for your kids' college education.
Stinks.
Well, even if you didn't, okay, so if we didn't have so many avenues to get funding for it, that would change,
It probably would.
right? And I'm not saying that is not me saying we need to put the clamps on. It's like loans and grants and stuff. That's the real enemy. No, we probably need to take a look at it. But why would you, if you're a business like this, if you don't have 100% saturation, right? And I mean to the point where, oh, this guy's going to 2 colleges at once. Awesome, right? If you're not at 100% saturation and you know that there's money in the
Why
to
would
get
you
it,
lower your prices?
hell no.
Yeah.
It's not just lower the prices; like there's still customers, right? They talk about that with. I remember there was a discussion maybe 5 years back. It was a question about the market, and they were going to say, what are they going to do once they hit 100% smartphone saturation? And they found an answer. And it all has to do with how they finance things now, right?
The 2-year plan thing?
2-year plans,
Yeah.
direct financing, stuff like this. Like you buy that, like they have so many different ways now to make what is like a $1,200 thing completely accessible. Whereas back in the day, it was like, I can't afford that. Okay, well, here's a $99 Huawei. and as long as you're okay with the Chinese knowing everything that you do, it'll do okay. It's like, will this let me play tower defense? I'm like, it sure will.
Yeah, but I mean that was
like 5-10 years ago.
yeah, I know, but I can't believe there weren't people who didn't see that coming. I mean, like actually turning something into a lease payment system, especially if it's a high ticket item, is a very old technique.
Yeah, it's carpetbagging.
Yeah, well, it's not even carpetbagging.
It's sort of.
But what is it? It's like that's like you used to get your TVs that way back in the 50s.
That was layaway.
Layaway.
Right, layaway.
God, I got something
yeah,
on layaway as a kid. What did I do?
layaway.
What the fuck did
There
you
was
find
one
on
thing
layaway?
I bought on layaway that I had to make payments for each month, and I can't remember what it was.
But they let you have it.
Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
let me have it, and like mom and dad let me do it. What did I get? I got one thing on layaway. I think it was like a fish tank or something stupid. So
Yeah,
it
you
was-
did have a pet turtle, didn't you?
That
Yeah.
was a cheap fit. Like I can't. It was something like that.
Oh, okay.
And it was like a $5 a week layaway kind of thing, or something like that, for like a year.
Oh, well, back in the day. Okay,
Maybe it
so
was $3. Like it wasn't much.
yeah, no, they used to. I remember guys telling stories about. These were guys that grew up in like the 70s, and so they would talk about how after Star Wars came out. This is not Star Wars. This is just layaway.
I'm not
okay?
talking about Star Wars.
No.
today. I'm so mad at Star Wars.
No,
Something new, or sorry.
No, I'm
No.
not talking about it.
no. But
But yes, I'm
what they talked about was like they would go to like the Ben Franklin's or like the Five and Dime places, right? And they would lay away all of the figures and basically come in with $5 a week and just pay that
Gotcha.
off. And that's how they got those sets back then. Now, granted, $5 in 1977
That's
is
a lot of money.
I think that's like $32 right now.
Yeah, it's a gallon of gas. Both now and then.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't want to think about that,
How high
but
did it get in the 70s?
Oh, I don't.
less than this.
Less than
actually.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Right now, it is. by ratio it's
historically
higher.
highest.
By
yeah.
proportion of your budget, it's still lower.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's why you got to be careful of this shit because people spin that 5 different ways to get their point across.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
say, "Oh, well, in nominal dollars, it's fine." And it's like, no, actually, it's a lot worse. And they say, "Oh, it's a rate, part of the CPI, it's lower." It's like, well, yeah, that's true, but it still hurts. And then other people, it's historic. It's never been this bad. So, well, actually, as part of your budget, it's not that bad.
But it's not good.
I guess it depends on whose budget, but
Well, just as a proportion. So, those are all aggregate statistics they calculate.
Well, yeah, but aggregate statistics, you're right. They have certain values. Like when somebody said to me, did you know that the average person has less than one testicle? I'm like, yeah, you're right.
That's
Oh,
true. Yeah, 'cause
gosh,
there are
yeah.
some dudes who have none.
Just in the same thing,
Or
the
one.
average person has less than one head.
who
Average
has 0
person
head?
has less than one head.
Who has 0?
I don't think.
It only takes one.
Who has 0?
Yeah, but who has no head? I don't think you can live.
So, well, okay, that
Yeah.
depends on how you define head. So if you're talking about somebody who there are 2 persons in one head, which does happen.
Like schizophrenics?
No, like conjoined twins.
Oh, so then would it be 2 heads per one person?
See, that's the thing is if you share it, this is where statistics are
Alright,
stupid. That's the same
alright.
as like,
Okay.
theoretically, the average person has less than 2 arms
Yeah.
and stuff like this, right?
Okay.
Well, yeah. So in the aggregate, there's no such thing as an aggregate individual. So I get that, But if you actually take a look at like the proportion of amount of money that people are spending on gas now, it's still substantially lower. Not that it has anything to do with inflation. It more has to do with fuel standards.
Fuel
and everything
efficiency,
else.
yeah.
And so. Yeah, because if we had a car in 1970s, you could drive around the block about 5 times.
Right.
New family that had a fleet of Oldsmobile Cutlasses. So, yeah.
So I think we had a party van that was measured in gallons per mile. So,
I drove an RV dog. Well,
that's
you know.
right, yeah.
Still, that thing got like 12 to maybe 20.
Would not be RVing
except,
right now. Yeah.
except, so there was a point where you needed to maintain a certain speed, so you had to put the pedal down, and that's when you could actually watch the needle, like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When you kicked it, like when you turn on the afterburners, right? Yeah, you could see it, like, oh my god,
You just open the spigot.
pretty much, yeah. When you were like cruising, you'd be fine,
Yeah.
right? So there was a section with me going through Denver, not a problem. Then it got to a point where,
Oh, going through the mountains, yeah, it drank.
Christ, yeah. Yeah.
But I did like that. I love that RV. It was great. The kids really want an RV again.
Well, go for it.
Well, I gotta make some more money first, but
Yeah. That's an
I'm
expensive
not
hobby.
in that stratosphere yet.
Okay.
Give me a few
Yeah.
years.
That is an expensive hobby if you get into it. So yours was strictly utilitarian. So,
Yeah, and I didn't even-
But after a while, I mean, I watched my dad go down that for years. So he had a utilitarian RV for a couple of years. And then after that, it was like, well, we need one with a toilet in it, And then it was like, oh, well, we'll get this other one with other slide out in it. And it was like, oh, look at this camp stove. This is much better than the one that we had before, And then it was like, oh, I need a new truck to tow something. So it gets like, it's like gun ownership. It gets its hooks into you, man.
That's the biggest hurdle, getting a truck for me. 'Cause
Getting
if
a
I had
truck.
a truck,
Yeah.
then there's a whole lot of different RVs that open up, and you get to go do stuff. Like
Yeah.
When you park the RV, and
Well, either you're using a truck or you're getting a motorhome and then towing
Towing
a
a
smaller
car.
car. Yeah. So
Which is ultimately what I would have preferred to do.
yeah.
I don't know which way I would.
It depends on what kind of how you prefer your RVs.
Yeah.
So, because the one thing is like the motorhome, if the motor on that goes Tango uniform, you need a motorhome. Okay.
Right.
So whereas if you have a truck and your truck goes bad, all you need is a new truck.
Well, in that case, I will say that the motor on that thing was a Ford S10
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
or whatever that was.
Whichever.
No, Chevy. I don't
I have
remember.
no idea which one.
I don't care. But it was a
was
truck.
good. It was fine.
You could also I need a new engine. It's like, well, is this like a custom built Volvo? It's like, no, sir.
No.
It's literally that truck with a motorhome attached to it.
So, okay, well, I've got one of these.
Yeah.
You don't want to replace it. It costs money. But...
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Engine replacement. I mean, like, well, I don't know. New trucks got so fucking expensive now. So, I mean, like, there's some guys at the bar. Oh, I bought a new truck. It's $70,000.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
That's what it was.
You know, but
when
that's
I
like
was-
normal.
that's what
You
it
know,
was
now
10
that's
years
like
ago.
a heat truck.
Yeah.
Well, you can get them for less, but not what they want.
Yeah, not what they want. So,
Like, you can get a perfectly fine, like, Nissan,
yeah, you can't haul with that.
but that's not what they're...
yeah. No, you're not
But
going to be
even
able.
that'll still be like 40, 45.
But that's still less.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's just so much more than cars.
Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, Ford doesn't even make anything but trucks now, right?
No, it's still
Like,
like cars.
like Mustang.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe the Mustang, but they gave up on, like, they don't make the Focus anymore.
I have no idea.
I don't think they do.
I haven't shopped.
I think they gave up on it. So they said we can't beat the Japanese, so fuck it, we're just gonna make trucks.
This
Yeah,
is
I guess
America.
Mustang. It's Mustang. Yeah, it is America. So
Sports car and trucks. There
yeah,
you go.
everybody wants the electric Ford now. So
Well, yeah.
I guess our neighbor down the street has a Tesla that they bought that had the beta package included.
what
And
is
it
the
pretty
beta
much
package?
Self-drives.
Oh,
They
really?
got it. They deployed it and they're testing it, and it's straight up
Yeah.
like we'll do turns, recognize the stoplight,
Yeah.
do all this stuff, and I'm just like, holy crap. She's like, yeah, you can't get it. It had to have been installed in the thing when you bought it originally. And she's like, I don't know if they're putting
Yeah.
it in the new ones right now, but they sent out an email and said, you have this. Do you want us to activate it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the answer to your question. All right. So they have the Mustang still,
Okay.
but the rest of these are sort of... Huh?
Let me close the window.
Is that
Oh, no,
a dog trying to get out of the window?
No.
Oh.
The wind.
No, what you can do is you can just open the thing so it doesn't blow around the things. So they have the Mustang still. That is their car. The rest of their cars are like crossover things,
Oh,
like
yeah.
an Escape or an Echo Sport,
Okay.
a Bronco Sport.
Oh man, that thing is ugly.
It's hideous.
That thing,
No,
they absolutely jacked that one up, man.
how much do you think they want for it right now?
The Bronco?
Yeah.
70. So.
It starts at 30,000,
Oh, never mind.
and their cheapest is the 2022 Eco Sport or Echo Sport, starting at $22,000.
Yeah.
Are those electric?
Those are crossovers.
Was crossover is just hybrid or
Yeah.
electric?
It's probably a hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it goes up to, so they do still have a lot of like SUVs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah. So,
But as far as like getting a Fiesta, it doesn't look like that's
no,
gonna happen.
still goes to the Fiesta or anything like that. So, like, yeah, Toyota, Nissan, or not Nissan, Hyundai.
Oh, Nissan,
Hyundai, like Sunday. So,
Hyundai and Subaru.
I haven't seen a Nissan in a little while. Subaru, of course, it's Colorado, so
Yeah.
it's like the
It's
state
everywhere
mascot.
you
I
go,
know,
yeah.
man. So, yeah. Fortunately, I don't think I'll be in the market for a new car for a long time. So,
Nah.
I love my Toyota. I love that little four banger.
What about when Cat's old enough to
Not
drive?
my problem. So- you want a car, you get a job.
Damn.
You can borrow mine until you save up enough money.
Liam already knows he's getting the Super Brews.
The Subaru?
Super Brews.
The Super Brews.
That's what he calls it.
Oh,
It's got so
okay.
many dings and
Oh,
things in it. I was gonna replace the grill, and he goes, "Don't do it."
I'll do it.
It's like, I want it that way. It's like, you're not gonna want it that way when you're actually able to drive.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I will.
See, that's what my daughter keeps telling me that she wants my truck. And I'm like, I don't think you're going to want that by the time you're old enough to drive. It was like, that thing will break on you about every third week.
No.
So, yeah. It's not the engine. The engine will run until the end of time. So, but it's everything else on the truck. It's a Chevy. So, everything else breaks on that truck.
What's the story with replacing? What's the history of replacing the lamps? on the.
It can't be done, apparently. So they are seal beam lamps without ripping out the entire front end of the truck. So, because GM said, you know what? A seal beam will last forever. And they were right. It will. It'll just have like the candle power of a candle.
You better candle power by one.
One, yeah.
Yeah, change the headlights.
You can, all right, but you got to pull the entire fucking grill, all right, in order to get them out of there. So,
Well, I removed the whole front of my car.
I ain't gonna do that, man. I just don't drive it at night. Or if I do, it's really short distances. Yeah, so because you can turn on the high beams, guess what? It's the same.
The yellow on the headlight
The yellow?
or the corrosion on the light there.
Oh, I haven't tried one of those kits. So, but
I did it on mine. It worked for about 6 months.
well,
6 months.
yeah, I can stretch that out to about 5 years. So, yeah,
Well, you can do it again. So I mean, if you're,
yeah.
it's not crazy. I guess Mom was trying it. I didn't ask her how it turned out. I bought her the kit and sent it to her because she didn't tell me to do it while she was here.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, here's the YouTube. Watch the YouTube. She read the instructions. And I'm like, just watch the YouTube. They go step by step. I don't want to watch that. I'm like, just watch the YouTube. It literally, like,
video. Yeah.
literally goes step by step. Please just watch them. Okay, I will. I don't think you're going to, but okay.
It's so easy. So, like my Toyota, I have fixed so many little things.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to
Oh,
YouTube.
yeah.
Like a headlight. It was like, what do I need to do? It was like, pop this off, pull out the old one, put the new one in, and drive. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
No, the only thing about it is there is a part where you're like, all right, so you do have to bend your hand a little bit weird going into here.
Not on mine.
But it's not. Well, no, it's like a curve, and you
Depends
have
on some people, yeah.
and you have to just pull a little bit harder than you think you would.
Yeah,
right.
It's gonna feel like you're breaking it, but
You're
keep
not.
doing
It's
it.
supposed to. And then what that means is when you put it back in, you get to hear a really satisfying click,
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
and not just a click, just like a ka-chunk.
Yeah.
Like,
You know
oh,
it's
that's
there.
not gonna move. Oh no, shit. Okay, great. Yeah.
There's so many things. Yeah. It's just like, how hard is it to change the battery on this? And I drove over to the store, kind of thing. Because on the GM, it's not hard, okay? But fucking morons put the bolt underneath,
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you gotta reach way up in the window well to get the what is it, the wing nut off
Yeah.
and stuff. And it's like, whatever. So, but after you do that, it's like, can I put the bolt in the other way? And they're like, yeah, it'll just drop in your wheel well when you pull it. I was like, that's fine. But it was just one of those things where in the Toyota, it was like, oh, there's 2 clips right here. That's a lift.
But that's no, that's the thing. You're hitting the other problem is because some dude with a drafting table and a whole bunch of like pencils had to be like, no, I'm gonna do it this way. Why would you do it this way?
Yeah.
You had to draw this. Why didn't you say, oh, okay, what if I did this? Mm-hmm. And then you just erase this and do this in a convenient way? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it's like, and then even like the manual it comes with is great. It's like, these are things you can fix and these are things you can't. So, yeah. I'm like, that's really cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, so this
Yeah.
light you can fix this light you can't, this light you call a doctor.
Right, yeah,
The
exactly.
problem is you.
And this light here, you do not drive this until you get called.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah. So, it's just so convenient, man. It's so nice having a car that doesn't break.
Not like the old ones did.
Oh,
like
Lord, no.
like when I was driving that Audi, and I think you were driving the Audi for a while too. When that thing broke,
Oh, it was them the whole way and ungodly amounts of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't miss that.
No,
I don't miss that.
my Subaru's at like 180,000 miles,
Mhm.
and it hasn't had anything other than normal wear and tear stuff. So
Yeah. No, I've replaced the tires on my Toyota twice now.
and I think
Because I've just put so many miles on it, but that's like the only repair work that I've had. I had one time where it did die on me over here.
I remember that. Yeah, that just happened. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was like last summer, but yeah, it was.
Just as a relative term.
Yeah, with the Toyota, yeah, that's true. So, It was within this epoch.
I had whatever belt it was that broke and I left here.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, but
Yeah, I replaced my serpentine belt just because.
maybe it was that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think mine only has one belt on it. Yeah, it
They
does.
don't have many anymore.
No, like my Chevy's got 5. You know, so actually that's not true. I think it's only got 1 too. But it was one of those things where I was at the AutoZone and it was like, you know, I was replacing the battery. I was like, what else does my manual say I should replace at this point in time? I was actually taking a look at it. It's like, I hit 100,000 miles. It's like, well, you might want to check your serpentine. And I looked at it and I was like, looks fine, but I'll get a new one because you told me to. You know, and it's like $12.
Did you do it?
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking easy, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I haven't even Googled that one. Or
yeah.
YouTubed that.
Oh, it's way easy. So, but then there's like all kinds of other little things, and I replaced the headlight. And that was it. So, whereas my truck, like the heater doesn't work, the 4-wheel drive is sketch. Okay, it'll work, just don't go too fast. All right, so because it'll start to whine. So, and like normally you should be able to drive about 30-40 miles an hour. Mine whines at 20. All right.
Ooh.
So yeah, so that's gear grindage, which means that we use it to go downhill this one stretch at the fishing club, and that's it.
Gotcha.
And that's just if the road is shitty. So, you know, but then there's a short circuit in there somewhere that causes my horn to beep whenever I put it in second wheel in second. Yeah.
Get out.
Fuck no, man, it's a Chevy, man. There's all kinds of weird shit. So like that, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Second gear. Whatever.
I did replace both of my taillights myself, which turned out to be really easy to do,
Yeah.
but they're cheap Chinese knockoffs, and so now they randomly work. So, yeah. It's because that's the only way I could get parts for a 98 Chevy, so, because they don't make them no more. So, yeah. And so it's kind of like, does the engine work? The engine works great. Okay, everything else, questionable. So, very questionable. Windshield wipers work. I got those fixed. I had to move around the right. I had to use up my last couple of what are those breakers? So
Oh.
yeah,
Dude, you weren't there when so Pat used to have to pop the hood and he had to hit the little box with a screwdriver.
the wrench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they would go.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally the switch motor was getting stuck, and so you smack it with the wrench, and it would start. So
I shit you
it
not.
would be fine. Yeah.
We just like it wasn't a big deal. And then if it was raining when we went somewhere, we went back in. He's like, "All right, I got to do this," and then just pop it, hit it. It would work.
It would work just
And
fine.
every time you turn the car off, you had to do that again.
Yeah, it would get stuck. Yep.
Just part of life until you finally fix it and you're like, oh my god, I don't have to go.
That I actually had to have somebody fix because I couldn't reach it. So yeah.
I just had to hire somebody because they were tall.
It was like a combination of a couple different things. There were a couple different things that were wrong. And so like, yeah, it was like, while you're in there, can you change, it was the relay. Can you change this relay? So, and he was like, sure. So I was like, sweet, thank you. So, because I didn't have the mechanical skill to be able to do that.
Yeah, my rear view camera doesn't work. And I don't know how to. But I thought about just going to Car Toys and
Yeah.
either fix it or get a
Give me a
new
new
one.
one. Or...
See, the thing about my truck, though, is that when I bring it in, people are excited, okay? Because it doesn't have all that shit like that in there, all right? So they're like, this is something I can actually fix, you know? And so they get kind of stoked about it because it's like, I'll bring the Toyota in and they'll be like, okay, we'll hook up the computer.
Right.
So, and I'll bring the truck in and they'll be like, oh, yeah, let's figure this out, man. They'll pop their knuckles. And, it's like, yeah, I actually get to do some diagnostics.
That's going to change, though. That is absolutely going to change.
What is that?
Because that's an old school mentality. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
Like, so let
Yeah.
me put this in comparison, because we all came there. You didn't do this when you were younger, but for those of us who were tinkering with computers and moving jumpers and I/O interrupts and all this other stuff.
IRQs.
Okay. We used to have to do this for different games, and then it was like, time to make a boot disk, right? So it was all this stuff, and whatever the year was, and I can't tell you when it was because it was a game changer. People were like, "This isn't a big deal." It turns out it was. Windows invented this thing called plug and play, and 99% of the world's problems when it came to games disappeared overnight.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was that? 3-1? 3-2?
It was 95.
Oh, okay.
It was 95.
All right, so it was a little later than I thought.
It was a little and it wasn't like perfected until like 98.
Okay.
Because there were still some things where it's like, do I install the stupid CD first and then put the thing in, or right? Because I had
Do I need
problems
to
with
make
that.
a boot disk for this?
Do I have to make a boot disk? And so at this point, if I was having to fix something like that on my computer, I'd be like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't do this
I want my
anymore.
Steam refund.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like, this doesn't work well on my computer. You know, if they looked at the diagnostic, did you tell it to stop mining before you played?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't go back to that. And so the same thing is, you know, with these cars, when the old timers, you know, start to pass off, they'll be like, oh, this doesn't have a computer. I don't know what to do with this.
True.
Yeah.
Buy a
But
new one.
cars are a little different though, man.
There's a little bit of...
There's some nostalgia like on YouTube for
Of
like
course.
old school fucking
You
computer
drive it-
systems.
yeah.
So it still exists.
There is.
And then you know
there's like a for people who are driving like Shelby Cobras and
yeah.
you know,
But all your quick fix places, well, they won't have guys that know how to.
I don't know, man, because I mean sometimes like even modern cars operate off old school principles. So, you know, like an engine needs 3 things in order to operate, you know, and so like I'm sure there'll be like a baseline level of knowledge out there. But yeah, it might get to the point in time, right? If I want to get, because it's 24 years old now.
oh my god.
Yeah, no, I could get the classic plates if I wanted to. So, yeah, so like that's like to say it's actually getting hard to find parts for it. So, you know,
It's like Cuba.
yeah, it's kind of like Cuba, yeah, where everybody's rolling around in cars from the 50s.
From the 50s.
Really?
So, oh yeah, have you seen pictures of that? Oh, I feel like it's cool, man. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about it that's kind of funny is there's very few OEM parts, so they actually machine their own and shit. So off old ones, yeah. In fact, you can find tons of these great YouTube videos of them making sand molds for old parts.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
But so you don't know why they do that.
No.
It's communism.
That's when the
Yeah.
embargo started.
Yeah,
Oh. Oh my god.
yeah.
Yep. So if that's the last time you had new cars coming in, that's the cutoff.
Well, they got like Soviet cars and like
That doesn't count. Those were
Fucking
trash
Yugos.
from fucking the very beginning.
Dude, I knew a guy at the airport who had a Yugo. It was great. So, I mean, it was like literally if you made a car out of cookie sheets.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was great. So,
If you're caught in a hailstorm, it sounds like you're going to
oh yeah,
die.
yeah. Used to take it out on the utility road out there. There was a
Is that the dude that was getting high?
oh yeah, he gets
Oh, yeah,
going
yeah,
like
yeah,
crazy and
yeah.
drive around the fucking return loop in the
Yeah.
airport. So this is way before it was legal. So, but nobody cared, even back then. No, I didn't care, man.
No, I'm not looking at you. That there are some people that do and some people don't.
Oh,
Right. Even back then. So
yeah.
look, there were people back then who was like, this is the most dangerous scourge that is facing this country.
Yeah.
Well, weed? Yeah, maybe a little bit.
In the Just Say No campaign.
Yeah, but I think that was basically donezo by then. Because I'm talking like mid-90s here.
Oh,
Mid 90s, they were still doing Dare.
there.
Were they still doing Dare?
Yeah, they kind of. I guess they've shuffled off of that, since then. But
Yeah. I remember the Just Say No campaign from like elementary school and
Yeah.
stuff. I remember, what was the thing that was scary in high school? Well, that was just when they started crystal meth, quote, quote.
Right.
Yeah, that was just starting at that point in time. So that was the thing that was kind of scary for some folks. So now we just know it as Walter White.
I was friends with a tweaker back then, so.
Oh, yeah, me too. So, drove by his house the other day.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he
right.
had his car out there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that one's his. But
Yeah, I'm trying to count back the panics as they have. So like weed was still a thing when I was in high school. That was still sort of like verboten. There was the bless you. There were a few people, bless you, that had tried bless you, LSD in high school.
yeah, I knew a few
people.
people who
Yeah,
tried
I
acid.
did too.
Yeah. Shrooms were big. I do remember that.
Yeah, there
Shrooms
was
were
some.
big. Yeah.
There was. So after I left high school, the next thing that was the big deal was ecstasy.
Ecstasy. Yeah.
And then trying to remember because I think the next thing was like bath salts.
Bath salts. Yeah, I was out of the loop by then. Yeah.
Scissor up.
Oh yeah. I do remember that.
I think those two are at like the exact same time. It's Jamarcus Russell did
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like I don't know. Then I was in the working world after that, and if anybody was doing anything, it was either weed or meth at that point in time, because they were easily available.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose is to get fucking rocked. Is just get stoned. So, or like in the case of meth, like you want to stay up for 4 days and be really productive. Yeah.
I mean, that implies that productivity was the point.
For meth, I guess at the beginning it
tweakers I
probably
knew,
was. Yeah.
It had nothing to do with actually being productive.
No, see, like I didn't come into that contact with that until I was in the workforce.
Yeah.
So
the
it was
oil
all
field
about-
babies sitting
yeah.
out.
Shit, wasn't that when they were actually calling it speed?
Speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess like crystal meth was supposed to be like slightly different than like biker crank, or whatever. Which that I always associate that with speed. So, and then later it was just everybody called it meth, and then in Breaking Bad,
yeah.
everybody's like, oh, everybody knows what this is now. But like, I mean, on the job, I had come into contact with that probably in the maybe towards the end of the late '90s, but then definitely 2000s. So,
Right.
and it was totally about, well, I got to do this, and this. So I got to go get my kids,
Well-
so I've got them for 3 days, I got to get all this shit done on the weekend kind of thing. And then they would turn into actual addicts. And then it was about getting high, yeah.
Well, you know what's supplanted it at this point, right?
No, I don't actually.
Adderall.
Yeah. The
Yeah, okay.
prescription.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I don't think I've come into contact with that on campus, but
Yeah, I watched a documentary on it that said the students were just doing it like crazy. 'Cause they
yeah,
could study and like it's
Yeah.
just like a magic drug.
Well, and they explain how it works too, right? So, Adderall is typically for people,
ADHD.
and the way that it works is sort of like,
if you don't have ADHD.
well, so I think I explained this to Patrick once, and if you remember Civilization 1 on the PC, right? There's always something weird because the Mahatma Gandhi would always threaten you with nuclear weapons once it got to a certain point. And it turns out that happened for a reason, right? So his aggression meter was set to 0 by default. Okay? Now, there were events that could happen later on in the game, especially around nuke time, where instead of the aggression was supposed to go down. But instead of going to I'm at 0, it would reverse and go to 99.
Oh,
So he would become as aggressive as possible. Adderall's kind of the same way, where if you have ADHD, the way that it's supposed to work, it is supposed to fry your activity, right? It kicks it so far into overdrive that it burns itself out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you don't have it,
You go to Depression 99, yeah.
Gotcha.
that's how it's supposed to go. It's supposed to flip you to 0, but if you're not at 0, it kicks you up to, 75.
Gotcha.
And you're like, I have never thought so clearly in my life. Where is all the brain fog that I normally go through? Where is all of the, God, it takes me 45 minutes to get out of bed. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you ever watched Limitless with Bradley Cooper.
No.
They have a magic drug and it makes him like everything just kind of slows down. And so he's like, his apartment was a disaster, everything else, and he's just like, huh, and just like goes through and like methodically just cleans everything up, and then just starts thinking of stuff, and then he starts like taking over Wall Street, and he's like, he's just like everything he hears, every conversation he's picking up all the details. He's hitting, like, you can see all the hidden conversation between people. You can, like, it's like you're looking at 4 different places at the same time.
Yeah, it sounds like Adderall.
My God, we watched such. Do you know what I watched this week? I didn't watch Limitless. I watched Fences.
Haven't heard of that.
So that was a play for a long time. James Earl Jones famously, that was one of his big roles. It's about basically like dealing with the changing the legacy impacts of racism over time and how that gets passed on from child to child.
Okay.
The new version actually has Denzel Washington in it.
Is it a movie or?
It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
So the one I watched was the movie, but I've seen bits and pieces from the play.
Okay.
When James Earl Jones was doing it. But that's so far away from Limitless that I can't.
Well, I watched that on the rig. So.
Oh, that was a
Yeah.
okay.
But I liked it.
I thought this was a
it
new
really
thing.
cool. No, yeah, it's about 5 years old now, 6.
Okay. Gotcha.
It was good. I would definitely want some of those magic pills.
Magic pills.
You think so?
Yeah.
But once you start, then I'm sure it just changes the way.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem, isn't it? Yeah. There's never anything that doesn't have consequences.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say that I like when I worked at the call center, there were a lot of fucking opioid addicts.
Of opioid?
Yeah.
That
lot of ongoing chronic back pain.
Yeah.
I mean to say it that way.
So I've seen that with some students, all veterans.
Oh,
But that's like the only, and that's like the only crossover I've actually had with that. Like, in all of my career in transportation, it was always meth. Meth or weed.
that actually makes sense.
Well, kind of. Like, where the meth was the worst, it was just because it was cheap. So,
Yeah.
You're getting other stuff in it and all that.
yeah, it was
It's not
just
good for you.
like heroin was
Go,
like
like, baby
really
powder and
expensive.
shit, yeah.
And so meth was just cheap, compared to everything else.
Well, meth at least, like, I mean, if you're doing long shifts, and I can also see, if you're doing long shifts, then doing some weed to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Counteract, yeah.
Hey, it's like, so when I was in Nebraska, wheat was not really a thing, man, unless you're in the eastern part of the state. Where I was, it was
yeah.
kind of like, yeah, man, what fucking
This
Colorado
is meth country.
hippie.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is biker crank country.
Oh my God, it says it on that sign right there.
Right. Yeah, but and then back in Colorado now it's like anybody's doing anything, it's fucking weed. So
Oh, it's not even stigmatized. It's not
no,
even.
it's like normal, man.
It's like you do weed. It's like the fish.
Yeah,
You know,
people
it's-
do it
it's
on their
a-
fucking breaks, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at work, no, it's like fine. Okay, so you got a dad pen, got it, cool.
Yeah,
don't care.
exactly.
Nobody gives a shit, even remotely.
The funny thing is, I know I wouldn't allow it at my business, but
Yeah, but like it's.
I'm
one
a
of those-
totalitarian freak when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't allow it if it was like a safety job, but even then, man, like, I mean, it'd be so hard to fucking police so anymore.
Yeah.
This is like, what are you doing? Smoking cigarettes, and you don't even know. It's like, well, I'm smoking, a fucking vape pen. Okay, fine, whatever. So, and then on top of it, are you gonna stop someone from eating gummy bears? Are you gonna sample their gummy bears just in case?
No, look, you're absolutely right. Okay, you're 100% right. But there's still like, I feel like I'd have to post it on shared grounds of like using that as my way to like fire people if I didn't like them.
Yeah, I don't know. My favorite way to fire people was just attendance policy. It usually got all your stoners pretty quick.
Oh, man.
Every now and then you had that one guy who was stoned off his ass, but he was always there 5 minutes early. So, yeah. And so I think I would actually let that guy slide. So,
Yeah, he's on time.
yeah, no, he's on time.
What are you gonna
Yeah.
complain about?
No, I'm not going to complain. Yeah.
I know people that were stone stinking sober that were late all the time.
Oh, yeah. I went through a phase of that myself
I did
where I
too.
kept pushing the envelope. Like, I can be... I don't have to be the guy who shows up 10 minutes early. And it's like, I can be the guy who shows up 5 minutes early. And then it was like, I can be the guy who shows up 1 minute early. Then it was like, I can be the guy who shows up 2 minutes late. And then eventually you get to the point in time where it's like, yeah, I'm the guy who shows up when he wants to. So, and is just waiting for the boss to say something.
I know, and then
Yeah.
it's not even like an invincible thing. You're waiting for that to happen, and then eventually
Did this for work?
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
You're just talking about class. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm always late to class now. So I tell my students that you need to give me a 10-minute window. So, and I say, you can take it too. That's totally fine. All right. So, but I got to the point in time where I will leave my house exactly at the time I need to. And if traffic sucks, I got 10 minutes. So,
Well, that's
and I'm fine with that.
that's part of like what I'm talking about here. With there's something weird about the attendance policy in a lot of jobs. And look, I'm not excusing a lot of this because most of the time it should be fine. But like when I talk to these people that I do classes with, and they live in places like San Jose, but they're commuting to all these different places, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're 10 minutes late, they're going to give you a hard time. It's like, I left from another city, right?
Yeah.
There's so many variables. Yes, I left at an acceptable time ahead of time.
Yeah.
But what do you want me to do?
Right.
But they're like, well, if you're late 3 times, you're late 3 times.
Hey, man, I'm like that. So when I'm on the job, when I was managing folks, I was really strict about attendance policy. So
I know.
Yeah, but like
I know.
in class, I'm like, you guys are fucking paying to be here. I don't care if you can come in half an hour and I don't care if you come an hour late, man. So, but the glory is that is like, it's okay if I'm 10 minutes late.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know where I changed on that one. It's probably like several years ago. I remember I had a student bitch about that once. So, because I worked for this one guy, department chair once, he was like, well, if they're late, lock the door kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I tried that like once or twice. And then, I caught some people on it. And, they're like, I'm paying for this. And I was like, whoa. And then I've got halfway through my spiel. I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry, man. I won't do that again. Just if you're gonna be late, don't slam the door. And he's like, yeah, that I can do. I was like, sweet, we're good.
I had a couple of there were some high school teachers that used to follow that policy back in the day, and I remember. So, the turnaround on that was I had some friends that showed up, late to this class, right? And so they closed the door and locked it.
Yeah.
And in retaliation, they're like kicking the door and saying some profane things. It's like, open this goddamn right. And then the teacher would come there and they would get lit up, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what to tell you. Like we talked about this the other week, where it was you expect these kids to sit still for 55 minutes and then say, no, go to the bathroom during the 4.5 minutes you have to go between the 2 levels of this building.
Yeah. 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 Like, I don't know, man. I think after a while I realized it was just an ego thing. I didn't like getting interrupted.
I know.
And then after a bit, it was like, you know what? It's fine. Just tell people you don't like being interrupted. And then they'll stop doing it. And it was like, okay, so just be straight up with people about certain things.
Yeah.
Don't try and make all these little, these little itty bitty rules and stuff like that that you're
Yes.
basically using as a power trip, because then the students call you out on that, they're right.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, look, man, I don't care if you guys want to have a conversation, just don't do it while I'm trying to talk. It's totally cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give you some class time here in 10 minutes to work on this project. You can talk then. Otherwise, take it outside.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Don't slam the door.
Well, it was also on me. It was also incumbent on me to learn that, wow, I actually need to take pauses.
Yeah.
Let them talk a little bit.
Oh, god dang, yeah. No, the thing that it took me the longest time to learn how to do was actually not like insert myself in every goddamn conversation in the classroom. So, it got to the point in time where it was like, okay, so, we're doing like group discussion or something. The best thing you can do in group discussion is shut the fuck up.
Walk out of the room.
Right, yeah. Let them talk about
Yeah.
it, man. So, oh man, I get crap for doing that in my online classes, because like they're like all the time, they're like, you need to participate in the discussions more. I was like, no, I need to do it less. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, do you
Yeah.
understand how this works? I'm not stupid when it comes to pedagogy. So, because otherwise it just becomes like, well, what's the professor going to say about this? So, I'm just going to parrot whatever he says,
Right.
because I want a good grade. So, I need to do the same thing in class too. It's like and I've seen some of my colleagues do this. Not as bad at this school as the previous one, but they just absolutely interrupt. Like students like have a decent thought. Well, you're wrong about blah blah blah. Halfway through they're trying to make their point. It's like, asshole. Let the kids speak. So,
I mean, unless they're just like way off base.
hey man, I've let students I've spooled out all the rope that they can hang themselves with on certain things in the past, and it's never not paid off. So first of all, sometimes it gets a little funny.
Yeah.
And other times it's also like, if you just let somebody go, like on a 5-minute rant about something that they're totally, and this used to happen in that law class I used to teach all the time.
Really?
So, oh yeah, fuck yeah. People like, especially my pocket constitutionalists,
Oh,
would
boy.
just go absolutely fucking nuts for a little bit. And then after a little while, it'd just be like, yep, we got your point. All right. You clarified. Okay. Got it. And he's just keep going and going and going and going until like he's sucked all the oxygen out of the room, kind of thing. And then invariably, almost every single time, they finally realize it. It's like, oh, you guys aren't listening to me anymore. Everybody's on their phones now.
Yeah. Is that the classic thing? You got to let him tire himself out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to play a little rope
Yeah.
a dope with them. So.
That's true. Yeah. If they're going on up a rant and nobody is either providing resistance or giving them a couple, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you get no amens. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, you're not getting any amens from the other.
That is a military flag. Yeah,
Right.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I kind of prefer it online.
As do I.
Yeah, all I have to do is, like, I don't know, I make a couple videos a week and post them up and say, watch this shit. And then answer these questions. And then I will grade your questions. And you will receive scores. And then I will go back to playing The Sims.
You got. There's a. I don't know who you know what that is? You remind me of Butthead. It's like, then I will post this video.
Right, yeah.
Then you will watch this video.
Yeah. I saw Mike Judge. He was actually on Rogan's show last week.
He's a funny guy. He's just he's so low key.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah. And he's really, and like, so usually that show's pretty good about like quality, like engineering and stuff. Man, he was hard to listen to because
Really?
he keeps going really low in his voice.
That's
and really
his voice. Yeah.
soft and quiet and stuff. And it's like, man, I can't fucking understand it. So I found myself like rewinding it a few times. And after a little bit, I was like, all right, I get the gist of it. Fuck it. I'm not going to sit here and cliff note this thing out, But it was also kind of cool to see him again because I hadn't seen him in a long time.
He looks the same. He's been
He does.
bald since he was like 20.
He wears a hat.
Yeah. Oh, he wore a hat.
He wore a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
He wore a hat the entire time.
He just looks like a dude that works on your sink.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
Yep. So
No, he's actually a funny guy.
is.
He's so laid back. God, who did Rogan had somebody on that I completely didn't expect the other day. Somebody that I had just like written off as like a fucking nutbag, but there he was, like gracing the Rogan studio. Who was that?
Who was it? Mike Judge, I think, was the only one that I caught last week. I only watch that show, man, if it's like, oh, that sounds interesting.
Oh,
You know,
100%.
Because
Yeah.
other than that, it's like, oh, okay, so what MMA fighter do we have on that I know nothing about?
Oh, I
You know, what fucking, like, 420 advocate, and fucking mushroom guy do we have on this week? It's like, nah, I'm not gonna watch that one either. What asshole comedian that I've already seen like 8 times on here and don't want to listen to the same jokes?
Oh, look, it's Ari Shaffir.
Oh, it's Shafir. He's fucking back. Why?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But then, yeah, it's like, oh, you and Kenny Florian are going to talk about why it's unfair that UFC has banned 12-6 elbows.
Right. I don't, yeah, that's just, it's like, nah, I don't.
You've heard
watch
it. I know
Oh,
you
yeah,
have.
no, I have heard it. Yeah. So he's got about like, maybe like, I don't know. He's got about a 50-50 chance that I'll check out a show.
Right.
And he's got about a 1 in 4 chance that I'll actually listen to it.
Stick around.
Yeah,
for it,
yeah. So, and it's not just all the political ones either. I actually like some of the scientists who come on there and shit. But
Well, I think that's the best part. Is
Yeah.
every now and then you get to hear a perspective that is not, it's not Alex Jones, but it's still not something contemporary that
Yeah.
everybody is saying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Every now and then you come across a guy that's like, actually, the world's in a lot better shape than we thought.
oh
like,
yeah.
What do you mean? And they'll sit there and say, well, these are how the graphs go. If you look at this blah,
Oh
blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
you're talking
there's a-
about Steven Pinker.
Well,
He's been on there like 5 times now, man. But see, that's kind of cool thing about the show is you meet new guys.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
do meet new people out there who have new things to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's other ones that I've gotten.
God.
Oh yeah, it's like, God damn it! If I see Sam Harris on this podcast again, I might quit it. So, so
But I think you have to let Sam Harris on there.
I guess, man, but I don't have to
It's
watch
just
it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I watched him one time and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty interesting. And then you see him the next time. It's like, you're saying the same fucking thing, So you're just madder about it now in your weird California way. So,
You're right, and I guess that's the thing is I swim in the mad on a regular basis because
okay.
it's funny. Like I don't even know what to tell you. Like yesterday with the January 6th trial.
that everybody called out as bullshit today, including the Secret Service? It's not even a trial, man.
No, and the whole thing was so she didn't see it. It's like no, but she heard it.
That's called hearsay.
Right, which is not admissible. And then the whole
It
thing
is
was,
in a hearing, not in a
in
trial.
yes, exactly.
So-
It means it's bullshit. Like
You
you
can
shouldn't
say
even be
whatever the fuck
entertaining
you
it. I know, but then they're like, well, the Secret Service guy's like, well, I can testify that didn't happen.
Yeah, and the Secret Service offered up all their guys, and they said, take whoever you want, talk to whoever you want, and they were like, no, we're good.
We got what we need.
We got what we needed. It was like, obviously. So,
I was like-
now, see, the funny thing I thought about that is, like, everybody can envision Trump doing that. And so it's like one of those things where it's like,
Maybe, no way, because that would be like the same thing of like Trump getting so upset that he went for the wheels. I'll kill us all.
I don't think so, but I
No.
can see him grabbing the guy. So,
I could see him like bumping the dude's shoulder, but I can't see him
I don't know.
grabbing the wheel as to actually turn the car
I don't
around.
think he could do that. So, well, and especially it's a limousine, but I
Yeah.
could see him grabbing the guy's shoulder or
Exactly.
something,
Or pointing at or like tapping his shoulder or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
But see, that's what makes it interesting is because that part of it is at least believable. So,
Well, no, in order for any kind of theory like that to work, it has to have some element of believability.
Sure,
Right?
yeah.
You can't have conspiracies if the Masons don't actually exist or that they did something weird in the past.
right, yeah.
Okay? So unless you have like a kernel of something like that to go on.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was completely shut down by the Secret Service.
So stupid. Well, and the funny thing is, it breaks down exactly on partisan lines. If you
Of
go
course it
into, it's
Why
like-
wouldn't it?
It's like you should believe this person. It's like why? Why should I believe anybody?
Yeah. Did Liz Cheney lose her thing?
You know what? I didn't look.
Yeah, okay. I was kind of curious.
I am so uninterested in anything that she has to say or do.
Well, I was only interested in whether or not she was going to lose her job.
Well, Little Miss Southern Colorado there kept hers.
Well, I totally expected that.
Why would she have lost her?
Yeah.
Oh, just saying. Like a lot of the Twitter thinks she's the biggest idiot on the planet.
I wouldn't say that she's the sharpest knife in the drawer, but
No.
Why would she have lost her job for that?
Because people think she's just that stupid. Look, people, the insulated world of the internet community thinks all people think like they do.
Well, I
Right,
know,
yeah.
but why would that cause her to be losing her job right now?
Well, because the primary action.
yeah.
Oh,
Didn't she get a ballot?
I think I threw it away.
Yeah, me too. So, yeah, because like it's the primary. So you could vote in the Democratic one where they're all already settled, or you could vote in the Republican one where there's like 9 candidates for each one.
Each more Republican than the last.
Each more Republican than the last. So yeah. Now my brother actually texted me the other night. He's like, "Well, I don't know any of these people." I was like, "I don't either, man. You're gonna have to start Googling them, figuring out which one's the most psychotic." Because obviously the Democrats aren't giving you any choice, and you can only turn in one. So you might as well turn in one that's fun.
What I always keep hoping for is when those pop out, I come up across a name and I'm like, "Yo, Mike?"
Right? Yeah.
You know, or
That
just
Mike? Yeah. Sure, I'll vote for him. Yeah. No, there's so like I had some people over the last year like trying to give me reasons down in Pueblo why Lauren Boebert would lose her job. And I'd be like, she's not gonna lose her job. You don't realize this ain't a union town no more. Okay? A lot of y'all are pretending that it is, okay? But I see more fucking Trump flags in Pueblo than I do here. And that's pretty impressive. So,
Wow.
yeah. You know?
what's the growing base right now?
Well, it's all Latino, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, and well, and even then, like, there aren't that many union jobs left down there.
Yeah.
So the town has, like, this core gooey blue center, you know, that's in charge that won't be in charge in 5 years.
Yeah.
So they already flipped the mayor, like, 2 years ago. And so it's only a matter of time before they flip all those state house seats, too. So...
Dude, there are changes that we do not like. Once they started changing the school boards in like San Francisco, it's
Yeah.
like there's stuff going on, and it's the little things that they're taking notice of. This was something I heard about this the other day, right? So you've heard about the just like the 1 minute smash and grab robberies that have been going on there.
Oh, like, yeah, and yeah.
So what was being relayed the other day was, okay, so you go down this aisle, okay, and this is like the aisle with like the razor blades and deodorant and like Clairol, right? And you go down there and there's a wall, right? It's a half wall with a register. When you go into that aisle, you pay for what you buy in that
In the
aisle.
aisle,
They sticker
yeah.
it, right?
Oh, is this for, like, the makeup and stuff?
This is basically, yeah, like deodorant, razor blades,
Oh.
Clairol,
What is Clairol?
hair color,
Oh, okay.
yeah, stuff like that. So, you know, those are the things that people are starting to pick up on, where it's like, all right, whatever course we're on is not.
Well, yeah. They flushed that guy, right? The DA in San
the
Francisco?
DA, yeah, they flushed him, and they flushed all those school board members.
That doesn't surprise me at all. So, I saw an argument that LA is not going to flip that way, though. We'll see if that turns out to be true.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. They've had opportunities to get rid of Gavin Newsome, and they haven't, so.
Gavin Newsome is popular in California.
I know.
Yeah, so.
But he's a dumbass.
I get that, but, you know.
He's a handsome dumbass.
I don't think so. So.
Well, I mean, I'm measuring it as a guy.
I don't know, man.
Dreamy.
Somebody who really is really in love with their own reflection to that point. And it has this like weird glow to them.
That's
that I
what
pick
I'm
up
saying.
on,
Yeah. There's
That I
a
find
weird.
distinctly unattractive. So
Well,
even in
not
a
a date thing.
dude,
I'm talking about like.
yeah. I don't know. So
Don't fucking do this to me.
I'm not doing it. I'm not saying you're gay. So, but no, the argument that I saw was that LA is like, since it's so goddamn big
Yeah.
and it's got such a huge jurisdiction, that there is this enclave of people who don't have to deal with the homeless every single day, who are basically
Yeah.
going to keep all those other dudes in power. Yeah. And since it's LA, there's a lot of people who live in LA. It's just like, oh, fuck it, it's LA, man. You know, and
What
so
comes,
it's just what happens. You know, and it's, you know, they're not moving anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you're Southern California born and bred.
Yeah.
And so you stay.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. Unlike San Francisco or San Jose, where people are fucking leaving. So, and they're like, oh, my house is worth how much? Yeah, you can have it.
Well, because that does eventually get to a point where you're saying, like, I'm paying how much for what?
We're right. Yeah, exactly.
Are they going to run out of people that are going to buy those houses?
No. Oh, no. No. You've got too many tech companies there still. There's too much money.
Yeah, there is a
too
ton of
much
money there. Look,
Yeah.
look, I have students right now that are like, I want to leave. My husband can't leave.
Right. Yeah.
Why? Get another job.
But he's working in Silicon Valley.
It's pretty small, man. So even if you jet out of there, like, I mean, it'd be one of those things where you're going to leave the industry at that point in time. You know?
Really?
Oh, yeah. The companies aren't that big.
Nope.
So that's the thing, is that you expect it's like this fucking Walmart that has like 700,000. No, man.
Well, no, I figured your skills are going to be wanted elsewhere.
You can go somewhere else, but I mean, if you work for like Facebook, there's a Facebook, you know? And so, like, dude, I ran into the same thing when I worked in the fucking railroad industry. All right, there's 4 big ones. Okay, you work for one, you know, you quit that one, you never work for the others, so they will not hire you. All right, so because loyalty is the thing.
That is not the oil field.
No, absolutely not, man. It's totally different.
Well,
So,
But
that's
your
contract
skills
work.
don't
Yeah.
apply elsewhere in the world.
Well, a lot of those places actually do have like non-compete clauses and stuff like that.
Huh.
But yeah, that's the thing, is those jobs are in short supply. They made it patently clear. It's like, if I could do this, like I talk about where I live, and it's like, you get snow. So he's like, I come from Ukraine. I miss snow.
Yeah, we don't get that much, just enough to remind you of it.
I'm talking to a person. It's like, it's my job because I didn't want to get vaccinated. Like, oh, well that's not right. And she's like, and this happened before everything else because it's California.
Oh,
Yeah.
But these are lunatics.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Is they're constantly bad mouthing it, but I can't go anywhere else because this is where my husband's job is.
Yeah.
This is why we came to this country, for this job, for this money.
And the money is good.
Well, yeah, but
The money is good.
you should be able to retire by now.
Well, I mean,
It's like what you said about college is
Yeah.
like, so. All right, how expensive was shit in like those rig towns?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, so minimum wage in like 2015 or whatever was like $17 to work in Hardee's,
yeah.
right? Because people had money.
Or you were hooked on meth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, retire, sell your place, and go live life working at tech club, whatever, and
No, but money comes in, money gets spent because shit is more expensive. You're not building up that same, like, your savings is essentially commensurate with what you're spending.
Yeah, see,
To a point.
I kind of
Yes,
disagree with that, just because, like, there is a hubris that comes with having a $250,000 paycheck.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, where eventually you get used to the amount of money. I mean, I've seen this happen to a few people.
We've seen it happen to plenty of people.
Well, yeah, and you guys in particular is like, how many guns do you buy every month? It's like, man, you don't fucking need that. You
many
just
kids do
want.
you have
How
with
many
different
kids do you have? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, and it's like, and you're not taking snaps for the 49ers?
Yeah,
like,
I'm
oh,
gonna
that's- I
tell you,
gotcha, yeah.
like, working for Facebook is probably the same way. If you're like an engineer there, you know, in some respects, there's probably like maybe 100 of you guys, 200 of you guys working on like the floor or whatever your office is
Oh,
every
yeah.
single day.
Yeah.
You know, it's not these legions of dudes, you know,
No.
where it's just like, oh, well, we, you know, get some and lose some every single month. It's probably like very little turnover. So,
Yeah, but you have that little amount of juice. That's why the fucking janitors
exactly.
at
Yeah.
Reddit and Twitter are so high and mighty about we need to, control this.
Exactly.
It's like
yeah.
when you take a look at it, it's
Yeah.
like all you do is look at messages and ban them if you think this is appropriate.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You're a fucking
Yeah.
janitor.
Yeah, you're janitor.
Okay. You guys are super pissed that there's a new boss in town.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
going on with that?
Twitter, the board agreed to the sale.
Okay. I thought they
Yeah.
already did that.
Nah, they were mulling it over. So
Oh, okay.
they agreed to the sale, and the particulars haven't been worked out yet, but it looks like it's a done deal. Looks like they're just kind of like jockeying for a couple of billion here and there, which to me that's a lot of money. But these guys are like, well, these
They
are
don't
just
care.
zeros.
Yeah. They don't care.
So yeah, you have these people it like, and Reddit janitors are unpaid. You know,
Yeah. I don't even go on Reddit. So,
it's a shithole.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest echo chamber on the internet
no.
because it has a upvote and downvote.
Yeah.
And when you downvote them enough, the comments get hidden. So if you don't like ideas, you just
Yeah.
brigade them until they leave. You never have to actually confront an opinion you don't like.
Yep.
So this is where you have the group of people that are so insulated that they think, no, actually everybody should be wearing fursuits.
Fursuits?
But yeah, they're
For
dressed
what?
with like animals and
Is that a thing?
it's very much a thing. They make it act like this happens every day in every school and park, but it's like
I've never seen
no,
that in my entire
no,
life.
you're not gonna. But this is the thing where you look at this crowd and then Disney is like, well, it looks like these furries are super popular. Based off of like the online response.
I thought Disney completely retreated from everything.
They started to, but they signed a 3-year extension with what is it, Chapek, the CEO?
I don't know.
Okay, well he's the guy, and they look. There's two people that they've been saying have to get out, but they haven't outed them. Him and Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, from Lucasfilm?
But they're still there.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Star Wars today. So,
I know.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Disney. I'm talking about
yeah.
I saw a headline that said like Lightyear did not do well at all because people are tired of the woke bullshit.
and they made excuses for it. Said, well, it's just because it went up against Jurassic Park.
Ah,
It's like,
Isn't that one of their properties too?
No, it's
Oh.
Universal.
yeah.
Oh, okay. How did that do? I don't want to
did
talk about
great.
Jurassic Park either. I gotta think of it, man.
Like these are wounds that are just starting to scab over.
Yeah, no, man.
All the
I don't
people
want to
that
pick at those
I've
wounds.
talked to that have seen it enjoyed it.
Okay, that's the opposite of what I've
You've
heard.
heard,
Yeah. So
I kept waiting for all these people to say, "God, that was terrible."
But I only know
No,
a
it
couple
was
people who
great.
actually were willing to pay money to go see it.
Well, these are all people that have paid money to go see it.
Have not paid money.
No, that I've heard from paid to go see.
Oh, they did pay. Yeah, okay.
Well, the bottom line is, of all those three movies, the one that smoked him was Top Gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. If I go see that, I'll do it this weekend.
It's fine. Like,
Yeah.
the plot is paper thin.
Yeah, no, I already
Absolutely
know
is.
exactly what happens in
Yeah.
it. So I read every spoiler the minute that it comes out. So
it. Not do that. There's no way.
I wiki every movie to see whether or not I'm going to go see it. And the answer is almost 99% no.
I don't know if I can get on board with that.
I'm not asking you to get on board with that.
Like,
man.
clearly you aren't.
Yeah, no. This is my train. It's got room for one.
And my question is just, how do you justify that?
Because I don't care. So, and I'd rather have like an idea of what I'm going to go see, kind of like reading the back of a jacket on a book. So I've never had a problem with that.
No,
So-
well, the jacket is designed to get you to buy the book.
Yeah, there's no spoiler in the jacket.
Yeah, okay.
You would not. Oh, God damn it.
I guess, but it's got like a plot summary on it, so
Yeah.
you know that's enough for me. So
Well, so, I mean, commercials do. That's
yeah, but I guess like I'm so past the point in time where I care about twists in the plot anymore because I don't know, they're either A, predictable. Like every movie you go to now is going to be like, or even like stories that I read and stuff is like, well, it's either made for kids, so the bad guy's going to lose and the good guy's going to win, which is the kind of movie
Yeah.
I like. Okay, so or it's not made for kids; it's made for angsty people who want.
Oh, come on.
Stranger Things comes out Friday,
Yeah, I'll watch Stranger
and
Things.
then you're cutting Netflix.
Huh?
And then you're cutting Netflix.
There was something else on Netflix I wanted to watch. I can't remember what the fuck it was though. So the chances of me pulling the pin on Netflix are
They're kidding.
they're very
Really
good.
close.
Yeah, they're very very good. So, but no, just like, I don't know. I don't like fiction so as much as I used to when I was a kid. So I don't like it. I like knowing what happens, I guess. So
Well, given that the entirety of the craft is about how you present the material, right? The whole thing of going into a movie with like a big spoiler or a twist ending is that typically, if that's its only selling point, that works for it once,
yeah, sure.
right?
Yeah.
Night Shyamalan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can't even watch
exactly.
that guy anymore, man.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So,
It's like, oh, the plants are killing people. Wow, didn't see that coming.
Split was good.
yeah, it was. But if that's the entire basis upon the appeal of your story, that works once. So if it's a question of presenting the material in an interesting way, right? Then yes, you can read the plot summary and you'll be like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah, sure.
How does the person do it? Why is this one 16 on Rotten Tomatoes and this one is 91?
Yeah. No, see, yeah, and I guess I'm more in that camp. So, like, but, so like shit, even my reading lately has all been stuff. I know how it goes. I'm just curious about what your take is on it. You know, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So,
For
yeah,
Fiction or no?
I don't read fiction.
Nope.
I haven't read a fiction book in probably 5-6 years. So,
But that's what I'm saying
Yeah.
what you're doing with nonfiction is the same thing you're doing with fiction.
no,
You know-
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just prefer nonfiction. So,
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's all I read anymore. Yeah, and I think the last fiction book I read was probably a rereading of Jurassic Park, just because I thought it was fun. So, and
Well,
it took like a day.
An evening.
Yeah, and it took like a day.
This is not complicated prose. It's all right.
No, it was not. It's and then it was like, okay, I think I'm done with Michael Crichton. At that point in time.
It's fine. Look,
He's
he's
not coming out with anything yet.
Well, no, I know, yeah. But there's quite a few of
He's
his
kinda
books that I
past
never
that.
read.
Oh.
You know, and so I was like, oh, maybe I'll get into this because I read like the Indominus Train, which was pretty good.
State
Oh.
of Fear is really cool.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that
I'm
one.
not gonna do it. I'm not gonna ask you to read the book that I'm reading on Midway either, so it's fine.
I'll read
Yeah,
anything.
you know, you don't want to.
No.
well, the book sucks.
The book is terrible,
Then
yeah.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Right. But I can also say the same thing about like, don't watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's not as good as you think it is.
It's fucking terrible. It's as bad as you remember it being. So
Never watched it. So
good. It's like you're untainted and stay that way, man. So I'm absolutely of the opinion that less Chevy Chase in the world, the world becomes a brighter place the less that he is in it. So
I'm not going to fight you on this because I really struggle to come up with movies that I've liked him in.
well,
everybody says Fletch, and it's like his worst one, man.
It's
I watched something called like the Dark Side of the '90s or something like that, and it's like a
what is
it's
this?
just like stuff that happened in the '90s. That so it was like the talk show host wars, And so
Oh.
it brought up like Arsenio Hall and like all this kind of stuff. And,
Chevy got bodied.
and they brought out Chevy to try
Oh, yeah.
and compete against him and just got demolished.
Yeah. Remember when Arsenio was edgy?
Yeah.
That was
Oh
like
yeah,
the,
they broke it down.
Yeah.
Like he got on all these people that would, that none of the other talk shows would take. He got on all the music groups that they went, and then they were like,
He got the president. He got Bill
Yeah.
Clinton
Yeah.
on there.
and,
Nobody
and
else
then
could
they're
get
just
him.
like, huh?
Yeah.
Well, let's bring all them on, and then Arsenio just like died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Arsenio attitude just didn't seem to last.
No.
Yeah.
He had a few good years, and then they said that he was so fried of trying to come up with new edgy stuff that he just, because then he wouldn't be able to get the people that he was getting before, or he'd have
Yeah.
to have the same people over and over. He said he had Brooke Shields on his show like 8 times,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it's just like, what else do you ask Brooke Shields?
Dude, I don't. But this is like when you compare that to like, nighttime shows of yore. Fucking Johnny Carson had like Dr. Joyce Brothers on like 61 times, and all she was like a goofy doctor. She was like a goofy sex. It'd be like having Dr. Ruth
Dr.
on.
Ruth, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's what I thought you were thinking of there.
That's
yeah.
what I wanted to.
Well, this is what I was saying. It's like had like 61. They counted it. It's she was tons and tons of times, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other tricky thing about when you come out and you're edgy, right? What is edgy changes every 6 months. So then you're not going to, like, if Bruce Willis was edgy at that time, 6 months later he's mainstream. So you're not looking to get Bruce Willis. Everybody else is, and they're like, well, Bruce Willis is actually an actor. You still have to be looking for, like, what's Crispin Glover doing? What's,
Right, yeah.
You know, you're having to dig into like these like small people, small artists. You know, it's kind of like, bonk. It's kind of like if you watch those first, I would say 5 to 6 seasons of The Simpsons, when they were actually very, very edgy by those standards. If you watch it now, it's the safest show on TV.
Right.
So tame, man. It was absolutely.
So is Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
Family Guy was it's like offensive is all we've got.
They were trying to do that.
Or now
the longest time.
yeah, and now you're an
Yeah.
institution now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Some of the newer ones. I mean, I don't even know. That show's been off for a while now. And I saw, what was it? There was one where Peter becomes a redneck.
Was it funny?
No. No, it wasn't funny. It's like the new Simpsons. I think they're still making them, aren't they?
They are.
I saw one not too long ago, and I was like, "This is awful."
Well, it was quaint. I mean, that was the thing.
Yeah.
It felt like the thing was like, why do you need to animate this?
Right? Yeah.
It's like you can just get people to do this very simple sitcom story.
Yeah, you don't need to go through all the rigmarole. And it was, there was nothing about it that was even remotely engaging. Whereas, like, you're right. Probably like, I'd say even like maybe even the first 10 seasons.
Oh yeah, the first 5 or 6, they're untouchable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then there's a stretch where it goes into like through 9 to 10, where it's like, all right, you guys haven't fully
Right.
turned up your characters to 11,
Yeah.
where
But you still know this is
Yeah.
a Lisa episode. Yeah. So.
well, there's a question of like how Flanders is Flanders.
How Flanders is Flanders.
That's the term. They actually the term for that is actually called Flanderization.
Yeah, I've
is
heard it. Yeah.
when something pops out as like outstanding, right, or like a certain mannerism that people glom onto, you turn it up to 11 and start taking out their other qualities, right?
Oh.
Which is why there comes a point where Homer loses track with being any kind of like father and becomes just a full-blown fucking lunatic.
Yeah, he's a fool. So.
Whereas, there's this like,
Yeah.
wow, he loves his kids. And then I jump in a few seasons later. Now I'm still laughing at it because it's absurd. But he goes into Bart's room. He's eating mayonnaise out of the jar with his hands.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm laughing at this because it's like, all right, I like mayonnaise.
Yeah.
But then when he's done, he just chucks the jar on Bart's bed. And there's, I'm like, all right, I laughed at the gag. I just
Yeah.
think that's so absurd. But like, no fucking father on this planet
No.
would.
No, well,
Like, he liked his kids.
yeah, and Peter's 10 times worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that was.
Peter doesn't even like his kids.
But he did in the first few seasons. They said, like, but that's not funny.
Yeah, but it's not funny enough, and so we gotta make Meg the universally hated character on the show. Julie and Brian become the same fucking character after a
Yes.
while. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
because we don't have enough of Seth MacFarlane on this show as is.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to have the one that actually is a copy of him, and now his alter ego become the same person after a while.
Yes. And
They
then
have adventures.
they have adventures, which was, again, there were some. Look, I'm going to say there were some of their seasons that were dynamite, but
There were a couple. Yeah.
But then, you get to this point where, like, I don't even want to talk about what they did to Joe, where it's like,
Oh, yeah.
he was actually like a nice cop in the beginning, but you get these qualities of him and just turn it up to 11. I don't even recognize you.
Yeah, no, he's not even the same guy. Yeah.
No.
So, yeah, I stopped watching that one a long time. I mean,
It's
there's
been a
been,
long time.
yeah, it's been a long time since I've
I
checked
know.
out anything that was like animated that was actually good. So, I mean, I did go through my Rick and Morty phase. So,
I've watched all those.
I've watched
Yes.
all of them. They're starting to get a little weird. So, well, not to say that they kind of started a little weird. So
That was the premise.
that
It
was kind of their shtick. Yeah.
But,
It's not the smart show that everybody thinks it is.
that's
though.
always been my.
Yeah. Okay. So, your
Matrix.
quadrant.
Yeah,
your
yeah, the
Matrix,
Punnett
yeah,
square, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not made for. It's almost like dumb made for smart.
Well,
Where would you put that one in the Matrix? It's not smart.
no,
So,
it's smart for dumb people.
smart for dumb people. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's what I was meaning.
Where if they. The whole thing is based off of these things have to be interesting to you because you didn't have this idea in high school,
Oh right. Yeah. Okay. That's a good way to put that.
right?
Yeah.
Because everybody is supposed to develop, and their philosophies and their ideas are supposed to change over time.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people, this is the first time they're seeing this, they get it. It's like, that's a genius. Right? It's like, I was a genius when I was 14. I'm not putting other people down. It's like, but this was just like the
Right.
musings that you would do over somebody's like book cover when you guys were doing like the dinosaur human war or whatever it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
of
The Great Stick
1996.
Figure Wars.
I don't know.
I'm trying to teach William to do that with his friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of where I put that. And then there was one other show I wanted to pick on. I don't know if it's fair.
Well, we're already 7 minutes over.
Oh,
So.
shit. Well, then, fuck it. I'm done picking on stuff.
No, if you got one last one you want to throw a harpoon at.
No, what I will say is, for all the bitching I did, I do want to say that I did start playing Doom Eternal.
Oh.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I thought it just made you seasick.
I thought it did too.
Oh.
But well, that was the first one.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
gave it another go.
Okay.
And I've been having like the time of my life in this game.
Oh, okay.
Now that I don't feel like I have the sweats and I'm going to throw up,
Are you playing it on the big screen or?
I'm playing on the PC.
Oh, okay.
And I think that may have been it.
That might be it.
Yeah.
I might check that out.
It is amazing.
I hear it's really fun. So, and it's not very hard. So,
Well, you can make it hard.
no, I'm not going to do that.
There's
Terrible idea.
4 difficulty settings,
Yeah.
and then 2 bonus difficulty settings.
Oh, okay.
I'm on 2 from the top,
2 from the top. Okay.
Yes.
So, all right.
which I guess is what hurt me plenty,
Hurt me
or
plenty, Daddy. Yeah, or
yeah,
whatever.
or
it was.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not ultra violence.
nope. And then what's the first one? Is I'm Too Young to Die?
Yeah, I'm too young to die. That might have been Wolfenstein. I can't remember. The one where he's got the pacifier in his mouth.
I was so pissed about that too. But all right. Anyway,
Come on,
anyway.
man. Have a sense of humor.
Oh God forbid.
Oh, God forbid. Go tell Twitter that tomorrow. Jeff.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
Will, did you have any last thoughts? I've been quiet.
Avs are the champions.
Avs are the
That's
champions.
correct.
That's correct. All right. Hitting the button.
There you go.
Hey, what else needs to be said about that?
Yeah.
Look, yeah.